In this video, we're going to talk about hard versus soft. In Russian, we have 10 vowels and 2 signs, all of which can be categorized as hard or soft. What it really means is that the consonant before it is hard or soft. But it's still useful to classify them. So let's try to classify these. How about this one, tвердый знак? Is it hard or soft? That one's easy, right? Because it's called tвердый знак. It shows that the letter before it is hard. It's quite rare. And what's its soft equivalent? Well, obviously, it's мягкий знак. Now we start with the vowels. Let's start with a. Is it hard or soft? A. It's hard. And what is its soft equivalent? If you put a y sound at the beginning of it, we have ya. So really, these two letters are the same sound. Ah, ya. It's just that one has the y at the beginning of it. How about oo? Hard or soft? Ooh, it's hard. If we put a y sound at the beginning of it, what do we get? You. Хорошо. How about yeah? Hard or soft? Yeah is soft. It has the y at the beginning. And what is its hard counterpart? Eh. Notice how they're basically the same sound. Yeah. How about this one? Oh. Hard. And its soft counterpart? Oh, yo. And that leaves us with the last pair, which is a little bit more difficult, but if you notice where your tongue is when you say uy and e, then you notice that your tongue is low for uy, it's hard, whereas your tongue is high for e, soft. So here we see some rather rudimentary pictures of what your mouth might look like when you're saying hard or soft. So generally speaking, obviously it's different based on different letters, but generally speaking, when you say something hard, your tongue is low. Whereas when you say something soft, your tongue is high and flat on the top of your mouth. Sometimes you might hear soft called palatalized, and that means that it's referring to the palate, which is the top of your mouth. So here we'll try a few words that are hard and soft. The pink ones are hard, the blue ones are soft. So we have mama. When you say mama, your tongue's low. Papa, tongue is low. Whereas with дядя, тетя, you should pronounce them with your tongue high. So try those after me. Дядя, тетя. And generally speaking, it tends to be the case for native speakers of English that the soft vowels and soft consonants are the more challenging. And here we have some examples where the hard versus soft makes a difference in the meaning. To us, as native speakers of English, it doesn't seem like that big of a difference, but to Russians, it can make the difference between two words. So we have map with no мягкий знак at the end, which means it's hard, and mать, where you have your tongue high and flat. The difference in meaning, mать, of course, is mother, and then mat is what some people might say about your mother, bad words. Also, быть, which means like everyday life, versus быть, the verb to be. Try pronouncing the difference between those after me. Мат, мать, быть, быть. Here are some more words where they are different based on hard or soft. The pink ones are hard, remember? The blue ones are soft. Try pronouncing them after me and notice the difference in where your tongue is. Da da, дядя, тот, тетя, нос, нес, дочь, день, быть, бить, угол, уголь. This last pair was kind of relevant for me because one time in Russia I was trying to tell my teacher about the tradition that we have where if you're a bad kid, then at Christmas you'll get coal, which is уголь, in your stocking. But I apparently didn't say my L soft enough and said угол, which means corner. And my teacher, although she obviously knew both of those words, she couldn't understand why I was trying to put a corner in my stocking. So it does make a difference. угол, уголь. And so how do you tell when something's hard or soft? Well, what you have to do is you have to look at the vowels or the signs, and then the consonant before those will be what will be hard or soft. So let's try it with a few words. Let's try this word комната. If we look at k, how do we tell? Look at the next vowel. It's hard. So o affects k, it's hard. How about n here? A is hard, so it makes the n hard. Same thing here. A hard, so it makes the hard. How about this next one? Kuchnia. How about this ka? It's still hard because u is also hard, but how about n? Ya is soft. Kuchnia. How about дети? D and D. We have to look at the vowel after it. Ye is soft. E is soft. So both of these will be soft, so you'll say this word with your tongue very high. Дети. How about забыть? Z, A is hard, so your tongue is low here. Z, your tongue is low again here because uy, but then your tongue has to go high to make this one soft. Забыть. Let's try сделать. Here we have yes, so this makes these soft. Сдел. How about this one? Is hard. Soft. So in this word, your tongue has to do some sort of like tongue gymnastics. It's high, then low, then high again. Сделать. Try it. Сделать. Try this one. Понятие. P, hard. N, soft. T, soft. So first hard, then two softs. Понятие. How about stole? How about these? O is hard, so hard. And then how about L? How do we tell? When there's nothing on the end of the word, then we assume it's hard. It used to be, in olden days, that Russians would write hard sign at the end of every word or everything that ended in a consonant to show that it was hard. But then there was some reform of the alphabet after the Bolsheviks came to power, and what they decided was, well, that's redundant. Why don't we say, if there's no myaky znak, and it's just a consonant at the end of a word, we'll just assume that it's hard. And apparently this shortened War and Peace by several hundred pages or something like that. Here's a tough one this one's really hard for a lot of people to say. L here and L here, both of these are soft, so we have to make sure that these are soft too. Lublю. Try it, lublю. Now we're going to look at some plurals. Here we have two masculine plurals, журнал, словарь. When we want to make a plural, what we have to do is look at the end of the word and see if it's hard or soft. So how about журнал? Hard because there's no myaky znak. So when we make our plural, we'll make it hard. Журналы. Whereas словарь, we obviously have a soft sign at the end. So what we'll need to do is put our soft plural ending, e. But then what we have here is redundant. We don't need a soft sign and an e because the e already has the softness encoded in it. So we'll take away the soft sign since it is redundant. Словари. Let's try a couple feminines. We have газета, hard or soft. We can't look just at the very end of the word. We have to kind of combine these two. So hard means that the is also hard. So when we take off our we will put I. Газеты. How about лекция? Ya, soft. So we'll take this off E. And here are a couple of neuters. Место. O is hard, so when we change it to plural, we'll take off the O and we'll add our hard plural ending. A. Места. Whereas упражнение, ye, is soft. So when we change our ending to plural, we'll use the soft plural ending. Упражнения.